Hello there, it's Gary, and had to put my farmer hat on today because I want to talk about a variety of things that have come to light more, I guess, as kind of an end of year situation, and some really exciting things that are happening out there. So this morning I saw that there's another tech outfit that's raised another $110 million, and found it really interesting how they've got a lot of great ideas for agriculture, and I think these are very exciting times for all of us. Now, a couple of things that I think everybody has to give some thought to is that the younger super tech guys may not just be the only decision makers out there. Lots of those guys are 55 and around that age that still run the purse strings. And so, with that, the most important thing when you're looking at any of this tech stuff is, does it make me any money? All this data, managing all this data on my farm, I don't think makes a hell of a lot of money. It's difficult and it costs a lot of money to do it. And when somebody wants 5, 6, 7, $8 an acre to keep track of things that I can't make money with until I've got 4 or 5 years worth of data, maybe I'm better off to join somebody who's taking data from all over the place and we'll gather it that way. I think there's some other opportunities out there that may be cheaper and are coming along the line. Number two is adapting or spending a lot of money on gathering this data, or spend your time thinking about maybe an alternative special crop that would fit into your rotation. Now let's think about this. So we gather all this data, so it's a year away before we get results probably, because once it's in the ground, if it's the wrong crop, it's not going to sell well, we've got a problem. So you got to make sure at the start, that you're getting the right grain in the ground. So let's everybody agree, and I think you all would, that marketing begins with what you put in the drill, not the bin. So you take into account the subsidies and the rest of it, put it all together, make it happen, and do the best agronomy that you can. And it's weird because over the years I've done a lot of speaking engagements, some to other financial groups, and it's weird. I didn't see the same people at both groups very often. I had these guys who were chasing varieties, seed, fertilizer, chemical, and everything else with a total disregard for economics. And if you don't have the economics to go with it, it's the ultimate measuring stick. And that always frustrated me. And so that's really in part what led to the building of this software, is that we wanted something simple enough that even old dad's going to understand it, and quick enough, because we don't need to get down to all the details yet. This is only an estimate. You're not going to get the bushels per acre right any more than 4 or 5 bushels an acre. The weather's going to determine that during the year. So 5 bushels an acre on something like soybeans, it's worth $12. Well, there's $60 an acre variation there. That's huge. So don't get all warped out about $2 an acre extra for this or that. Those are all estimates. So just getting that big idea, big picture, what works. Maybe your labor is better spent on picking the crop and a little less time with all the big data hype that's out there right now. Now, I love it that you're going to be able to identify some varieties and the rest of it that can give you maybe 4 or 5 bushels extra, and some of the practices that come along with that and populations and so on. Those will become public data over time, and most of the people that are gathering it are publishing it. And if you're on top of it and are on the web a lot, then it's going to be there. That's one of the real keys. So I see that as an opportunity. So this, where I'm headed, is I've got a lot of people calling me saying, the kid wants to invest in a whole bunch of units to tell where our units are and all these types of things. And I said, well, you're only 5,000 acres. You're running a couple, 3 units, maybe 4 at the most at one time. You can see them. You don't need to pay somebody to do that. And the data that comes out of some of these things, the hours and when it needs an oil change and the rest of it, if you're with John Deere, they already know all that. So don't duplicate things. I don't see that any point in that. So with my farmer hat on, I guess I'm far more in favor of seeing people spend more time on the basics at the bottom of the pyramid, and that's taking the time to go through crops, do an enterprise analysis, take a careful look. Don't just repeat what you did last year expecting different results. Look at wheat. Wheat last year, there were lots of guys who sold it for $7 to $8 a bushel. Well, that isn't going to happen this year unless we have a massive wreck, and it might be in your backyard. So keep your eyes open. If you don't need to seed it, why would you go enter that game of hoping somebody else has a wreck so you can break even? Crazy. No. So give some thought to those different crops. Take a real hard look at any of these technologies that you've got. And some of you may already have invested in a bunch of things and are uncertain if it's making you any money. Take the time to figure it out, because the margins are tightening up. Crop prices don't look like they're going to get a lot stronger. There's going to be some favorites, as there always is. And we don't see anything backing off on the inputs much. I mean, fertilizer's been the same price for a very long time. And but chemicals and equipment continue to rise. And we're going to see a whole new field of biochemicals and a lot of different things along those lines. But for now, you have to be worried about next year and what you got in the bin and get the marketing done. Maybe take a marketing course. That might be a great idea, and learn more about how you can make more out of what you already got. So with that, safe farming and happy day. Thank you very much.